And here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Track Feedback, Wednesday, August 31st. The last live stream of Track Feedback in Pittsburgh until I move to Hawaii, coming up pretty damn soon. So, hey, everybody in the chat. What's up, James? Thanks for being here. Got AFL, John Madison, I believe that Martin Mindbender's on there. And to start off with, a couple of upcoming releases. This is a track from Ariel that's coming out on Thorium Records. Not sure the release date, but did you hear what just happened? Let's hear that drop again. Deep. And I know these are long tracks, so we're not gonna play through this whole thing, but I like hearing how they come in and evolve. Sheppers! Guess what's coming up next? A little preview of a Sheppers track. So today I'm gonna show you a couple previews of what's coming up. Really exciting news about the EQ course, and then we're gonna do track feedback. It appears that we are in the summer slowdown. A lot of people are out in festival season, maybe not spending so much time in the studio. It's normal this time of year. We don't have quite as much activity in the group, but hardcore people are still producing, and I'm happy to see it. So it's kind of fun to have a little more time to talk about each track. And this is Ariel. We didn't hear this one in feedback, but it's worth mentioning. Oh, Stuart, we got your track too. Check this build. And I say this every time, I hate to stop the music. You're gonna have to grab the release to hear the full thing. Another quick preview from Sheppers, track called Balam, coming out on Thorium. We don't have a release date, so this is the only preview you're gonna get. Check this out. The 140 beats. And Sheppers has been bringing a lot of 140 into track feedback, and they're getting so good. And these jiggly videos, so much fun. Get ready. Just absolutely dropping it heavy. I like the release. I mean the changelog notes that Piff put in there about a little bit of low end boost, cut out a little bit of 3000. Similar to stuff we talk about in track feedback all the time. Now, before I mention the house release, which we know about, I'm super excited to introduce how to EQ your tracks. So in track feedback all the time, every week, we talk about frequencies. We talk about 60 hertz and 180 hertz and 3000 hertz and 900 and 10K and all these numbers, 2.1K, 1.3, whatever. Like, what do all those numbers mean? You know, how do I know those numbers? What does it mean? Why does it matter? And what do you do with all that stuff, right? In the beginning, people have EQs and you twist them and you hear what happens and it's like, oh, that's fun. And then when you get to be an audio pro, you can surgically use EQs to locate problems, solve them, and make your tracks sound big and shiny and deep and wide and crisp. And then between those two places, there's this whole thing in the middle where you have to learn about it. What are the different kinds of EQ? How do you use them efficiently? How do you stop wasting tons of time just experimenting with EQs? What's the right way to do it? What's the wrong way to do it? What do I need to know? There's a lot of stuff about EQing that it helps to learn and have some guidance. So what I did was I took the live streams. If you remember from June, I did a whole bunch of live streams on EQing where we EQ'd some tracks and looked at how do you approach all the different sounds to fit them together in the mix to make the mid-range sound good with the instruments and the drums, get the low end sounding good with the kick and the sub bass, and make the whole thing sound balanced. So when you listen to it, you don't get distracted by any one sound feeling wrong. You just hear the whole thing together as one mix. You know, that's the magic of mixing, is it all comes together. So I built some hands-on lessons. I'm going to show you one right now. And what I want you to do is grab the free teaser module of this course. I need some help to go through it and have people do the lessons and report back on what you learned, how you like it. Did you find any technical mistakes? Does the automation work or not? I mean, I know it works, but I want to hear the user's experience. So this is a little landing page called Start the Course for Free. There's a little video. And what you do is put in your name and email address and click Start the Course, and it'll take you right into the members site, which is the course library. DJ Waters, Stuart, when do you need the EQ course feedback? Basically over the next 2 weeks. So I'm planning to release the full course in the beginning of October with all the modules. And this is like the teaser module. I built kind of, this is like beta testing where you get a few lessons and we'll have some time for you to do the lessons, give me feedback, then I can fix any mistakes and then release the full version. The reason I want people to sign up here, I know most of you are on the email list already, but it will help a lot for me if you do the sign up process so I can make sure this landing page is working and make sure that you understand everything that you go through to get there. So what are you actually going to get? Let me show you what is inside these lessons. So here is Live 10. I built them in Live 10. And you can see on the sidebar, there's a little intro thing, how to EQ your tracks, essential concepts of EQ and filter. So this lesson is about the basic EQ and filter types. And the fun thing here is that I took the whole idea of a tutorial and put it inside Live. Okay, so you don't just watch a video, you actually do the tutorial inside the Ableton program. I'm going to give you a quick little view of what that is like. Here we go. Welcome to EQ and filter types. In this lesson, you're going to learn the basic tools we use for working with the frequency range of our music. Okay, that's recorded in the lesson. You're going to learn the tools working with the frequency range. Let me show you how these activities work. This is kind of fun. Every section, so we're in the section called low shelf EQ, and there's high shelf and everything. Now here is an automated example. Okay, let's get started with the low shelf EQ. Click on track 1 and do Shift Tab so you see EQ8, and then double click on the little spectrum window so you can see all the EQs. Now band 1 is activated, it's set to 80 Hertz. Here is the frequency setting. Listen to what happens as I boost the shelf. We get a lot more low end. Now let's cut. The low end goes away. You have a resonance control that can add some volume around the cutoff frequency. Okay, so the idea is I built an example showing you the tool, telling you what I'm doing, and you can hear what happens. And we do this through the whole entire course with all the different EQs and techniques and stuff. Your turn. In the next activity, use band 1 on the EQ8 to boost and cut the low shelf EQ, then sweep the frequency around to hear what it sounds like. And then after you watch the example, you do an activity. So same music, same EQ layout, got the frequencies, so it said boost some gain, sweep frequencies, cut, figure it out. And when you can do it yourself and play with the tools and hear it, that's where the learning actually happens. So all these lessons are built to tell you what you're doing, show you how to do it, hear what it sounds like, and then give you the tools in your hands to play with it so you can learn by yourself. That's where you actually learn how to do it so that when you get to your own tracks, you can do it again and make it sound better. In this session lesson, these are called session lessons because they're lessons you do in session view, which I invented because they're fun. We do in this one, low shelf, high shelf, parametric EQ. We get into notch filter, high pass filter, low pass filter, band pass filter, then a little review section at the end, choosing the right EQ. How do you do it? What's the technique? What's the process of listening to a sound and making a decision of how to fix it? That's what you really need to know. I mean, you can always copy somebody of like, oh, low shelf at 80 Hertz. But what you really have to be able to do is listen to a raw sound when there's no one telling you if it's right or wrong, and then identify the problems and solve them yourself on your own. That is my goal. That's a high standard for learning because I'm not going to be there to hold your hand in the studio. You got to learn how to do it. And I designed these lessons to show you the process of learning it and then give you a little review, and then you go on to the next lesson. So if you're curious about playing with these, you need Live 10 Suite. Go to this site, courses.mixitexture.com/starteq, and the link is in this YouTube video where you can sign up right here, do the course free. You get 3 of those projects, okay? 3 different Ableton projects that you can run through the lessons. They're like 45 minutes each or whatever. And then there's a place for you to add some comments and give me your feedback on how well they work. James, the link is in this video description. It is not on the Mixitexture site because it's in testing. I only want you people doing it. I don't want the whole entire world doing it yet. Just the people who are watching this and the people who get my emails are going to be checking this out. So thank you so much for your feedback and help on that. I always enjoy hearing from the beta testers. We're going to tell me all the places I fucked it up. And let's leave that for now. So we got Ben Hunt, Gabriel Mindbender was here first, and Stewart's here, Danats, we got AFL, and Shepard's had no update for today, is that right? So let's hop in with Mindbender and check out revision 1 on We Are the Underground. Wow, slamming first beat. nice and wide so far. Let's check mono. Awesome groove, and the bass line and everything is great. I've learned that the only real problem I ever find in Mindbender tracks is that sometimes the stereo image is so wide that we lose the effects of it. Because the low end is always beautiful and the mixes are usually 99% tight. And the song structure is cool too. There's got that flow, combination of improvised and programmed. Mono. Stereo. I like that dirty vocal. That vocal is super cool. Yeah, Shepherds, that's a good comment. As long as as long as the track is solid in mono and you get all the parts you need, it's okay to lose some stereo reverb and delay. You know, that's gonna happen. Okay, this is a rough mix. All right, good. I'm glad you told me that note. I was wondering what stage we're at. We could use around 250, like another percussion layer. Feels like the hi-hats have kind of been looping for a while. The synth layers are cool. I can hear you spent your attention on doing synths and parts coming and going. Feels like the percussion, you didn't really dial it in yet, so maybe version 2 we get more drum breaks and layers and variations. I'm still like this in the groove though, that's good. Yeah, Morton makes a rough mix and it's like a killer track directly. This sound right here is just buttery. It's so percussive. And deep. And then look at that. The bass is down to 75 and there's still so much space for the kick drum underneath. Going up. Okay. One more time. Watch the frequency range of this bass line. Doesn't go much lower than 70, and then the kick is down there at 55, 50 hertz. Such a good low-end mix. How about this riser? So the riser, I like the pitch it arrives at. It goes up to a cool melody note for the landing place, but it doesn't get loud enough and it doesn't scream in that way that a uplifter riser should really make me feel. So I'm gonna go through this one more time. I'm gonna go through the build up. I'm gonna hit some EQ as the riser is going up and see if we can bring out that like energy on the top, okay? So check this out. Okay, there's our level. Here I come with EQ. Okay, now I know that mid-range got a little out of control, but what I basically did was just boost the mids over time, boost the highs as the riser was going up, and I think you get the idea. Make that riser louder and just grab the attention so it feels like it's taking people over the edge. The vocal is super cool in here. What are these chords? This is cool. Yeah, more in your face with the riser, you know. And that's a cool problem to have. I think I almost never need to tell people to make the risers louder. So it's nice that it was in there and it wasn't too loud already. Okay, problem. Those deep house chords that came in were super cool at the ending of the track right here. They had this like, yeah, the Juno, okay, right here. Super cool. And they're before the beat. I really like the timing before the beat. Wow. But super cool chords. All right, at 450 when the chords drop out, I was just starting to like them. So once those chords come in, can you keep them in like for the end of the track or just keep them there? Because they added a lot. It was really good. And I was like in this floating vibe with it, right? Because now this part, we've been hearing this 303 for a while, and I'm like, eh. And also that stab thing at 517. We're having that thing of like too many sounds, too many new sounds coming and going. And just when I get into the sound, it changes. So what I would do is stick with these chords for the ending of the track. Maybe take the 303 and keep it filtered down like it is right here. Then just leave these chords up, layer the percussion down to come out, and have that be the build out. I mean, it's gonna be 5.5 minutes by the time you get to that part. Yeah, John, this is like your kind of vibe, this dreamy, those chords are like that dreamy thing. And after we enter that dreamy phase, these plucks right here are like way too aggressive after we entered the dreamy phase. That's like the alarm clock. So yeah, just kind of that was like a few, like too many ideas at the ending of the track. We heard the plucks. We heard those plucks before, right? Right? Didn't we? Yes. This is where they go. You only need them in this part of the track. It's kind of bouncy and it's like, and it works well with the bass line filtered down and these are the bright sound on top. So this is cool. And then we go into this breakdown and everything. So it's a cool structure. I like it that there's a wider range of sounds than maybe we hear from Mindbender tracks. I know you layer things a lot, but usually the layers all come together so it's like one bubbling acid land. And this is like more like the acid bass line, then we have two clearly different synths on top, which I like, and that's great. So basically simplify the ending and let the Juno 106 chords ride that whole ending out. Keep the plucks here in 2 minutes and let them be in that like energetic middle section. And little riser volume and some drum programming to detail, you know, add some hand claps or something like that. What are you saying, Ian? You got to be in the moment to enjoy the last quarter while your ears need a break to break it down. Contrast keeps it fresh. Yeah, cool. Well, that's great. I like hearing your rough mixes. It's easier to give you advice when there's some mistakes because normally it's like, maybe watch the stereo field and everything else is like amazing from the Mindbender world. So nice job on that. Let's hear version 2. Oh, and by the way, track feedback is not stopping. While I'm packing, moving, and unpacking the studio, I'm going to have my headphones and my laptop in Discord, so I'll be a lot more active typing comments in Discord on feedback on tracks. So we're going to have track feedback going with comments and writing, timestamps, and all that kind of stuff. Feedback's not stopping. It's just not going to be a live stream because the little camera's going to be in the shipping container going across the ocean. Okay, Stuart Kink Droid, Hecate, who is, I believe, a character in, I don't know, I forget. I got to look that up. Dub Techno, check it out. EQ flat, stereo wide. Where's Matt Schultz? I like that crackle. Looks like there's some sub bass. I can't even hear that, but I can see it on the spectrum. So that 20 hertz stuff might need a bit of cleanup. I like the vibe, the low kick. Sounds like the bass line and kick drum are gonna fit together. I like the sound design a lot. Yeah, Shepherds, my time zone is gonna change. Track feedback time. Well, we'll see what happens when I get back over there. I'll be closer to Danats, that's right. Me and Danats are gonna be linking up. Let me check the changelog on this. Really nice sounds. The sounds are perfect for this style. So, concentrating on ambient dubby hypnotic elements. First version, okay. Oh, question, should you extend the arrangement a little bit or leave it this length? Well, let's listen through. Looks like almost 6 minutes. It's not too short, just gauging by the minutes and seconds. The mix is gonna need some work, but we can get to that part later. That deep part, that's the pulse I get aligned to. Oh, Morton, that's a good comment. So people are looking for more dub techno from the... Was that the Insectorama? Shepard's ready for some hats of percussion, yeah. Around 2 minutes, Stuart, maybe we can have like another percussion layer come in. Something kind of, I could even hear a snare drum position, like a light snare, like a snap or something. And I'm gonna try some EQ here. Now I'm gonna turn it up. I basically raised the high shelf EQ to get the bright hi-hats up a little bit higher. I cut the lows a little bit because that bottom was super flubby, and then boosted up the low mids above the place I cut. Okay. That vocal's excellent. That adds a lot. And there's a backwards beat, whoop, right there. This is cool, man. Sound design is great. Arrangement so far is perfect. It just needs some mix work. And the world that it's in is awesome. It's like a scratchy, soft, it's like a big fuzzy blanket in a good way. Shepherds could have had the vocal could be a touch earlier. Maybe. Around 2 minutes we were talking about new percussion, so maybe if you like tease the vocal when you add a percussion layer, tease like the first syllable of the vocal, just fade it up and put it into a delay and let it echo, and then make us wait for the rest of the vocal, you know? So you kind of like, you hint at it, but then you pull it back, which works great in the dub genre. And I'm feeling the pulse in here. A backbeat. What is that? Wait, listen at 425. Is that hand percussion sneaking in here? Right there. Can that hand percussion come up? This percussion layer is usually good around 275 or 280. So if you want some mix tips on congas, and for everybody out there in replay land, anytime you have that hand percussion like djembe, conga, bongo, slap, doumbek, whatever, somewhere around 250 to 400, it's got a really nice tone that's very like bright and powerful for that drum. In a kick drum, 275 hertz can just be like pwah, 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 like garbage, right? But for these hand drums, that little zone is like doot, doot, doot. It can really bring out the voice of that drum. So also when you EQ and boost at that frequency, you might not need to turn up the volume so much because you're just turning up the part that we hear the best. Okay, Ian, I want more noise and faster paced, but that's just me. I understand. Mindbender, percussion could come earlier and dub it up a bit later on. Check out like 4 minutes though, because I think it's fading in. It is. It's fading in. Yeah. So, okay, so bring up the hand percussion louder overall, bring it in earlier. This lead is excellent. This is great, man. The sounds in here really fit together. Yeah, if this is a direction you enjoy doing, make like 5 more of these tracks because these are great. Oh, Gabrielle's here. Cool, we got your track coming up in the playlist. And right here, wow. That synth, there's some great elements in here and it's evolving over time. It feels nice and comfortable and like the pace is good. Wow. So, okay, that exact thing. Bow, bow. Can we have that earlier? The vocal that's at 457, we just kind of hear 2 notes. What if we hear that back at around 2 minutes, right? Just have that little vocal snippet right around here. Put it into a delay and let it echo so we get this hint of like, is there a ghost? Was that an angel? What the hell is this? And then we know later on to expect more of the vocal. And also that would give you 3 points of like first, third, center, and then ending. You have a little visit from the vocal sound. So it has a nice kind of symmetrical thing. Okay, let's ride out the end of this one. Yeah, Mr. Melvis, good atmospheric stretches in here. That's right, it is like you just get in the sound. And the groove. Boom. Boom. Those synths. That's great. Oh my god, look at that phase scope. That's crazy. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna check mono right here. Yeah, the squelchy lead. I love that. I'm interested in this low sound that's like... And stereo. There's a perfect EQ, a perfect display of that EQ curve. So that reverse bump, you might need to shape a little bit in the mixing with the bottom kick. I was aware of the reverse bump, but I didn't feel it as much as it could be there. And you might not need all the sub in there. You could maybe put a low shelf EQ and take the bottom of that thing down a little bit so it's more like whoop, and like the upper frequencies are louder, so you can push it up louder and not compete with the kick drum. And these echoey synths at the end are really good. Those at 542. That stuff is great. That build up where it goes into a delay and has like a big wash over kind of overhead. Oh, there it is right there. 129. Yeah, man. And then, like I said at the very, very beginning, something is a big bump down at the sub-bass range around 20 hertz. And it's unlikely you're going to be playing this on a sound system that can do 20 hertz very often. So you want to make sure the mix is going to sound good on more like a general club system, because when there's so much low end, the effect it has is like the mix is tilted towards the bottom and we just lose the detail in the mid-range and high end. And it sounds like whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, reverse kicks are always fun. Zoop. All right, Stuart, getting some claps on this one. Dub techno. We've been needing some more dub techno in the world. It just fills up such a good zone. And it's energetic too. When you put in that snare drum, like just that backbeat with the snaps or something keeps it close enough to chill out house beats that people can like actually, it keeps them like standing up basically rather than laying down at the crime scene, chill out. That's cool. I could listen to that vibe all day, but let's keep moving. Yeah, I love the vibe of dub techno. Speaking of AFL, let's check out Breathing version 4. Cool graphics. And I think I'll pull up Gabriel because he's here. EQ back to flat. Ah, I'm glad I checked because that EQ was really tweaked. Here we go, AFL version 4 Breathing. Check the changelog. Thanks for those details on this one, John. So we got that bass impact at 137. Looking forward to that. Rearranged drums. Oh, the ending got longer. Good, good, good. Flute sound, transitions, a little mixing. Cool. I like the stutters in the synth. I'm pushing this up a little bit. Let's see if it can drop at that volume. That's the DJ Waters test, is put the intro up loud and see where the beats come in. All right, and Stuart, listen to these hand drums for contrast. It's like talk, like a bright. Ah, Matt Schultz, you just missed the perfect track. There's the impact. I like the pulse a lot right here. Very ethereal intro. Like, I'm still not sure what's gonna happen. And then it kicks in. All right. I remember we were talking about the double kick drums, but it seems like that got smoothed out right now. Because I hear them here. And that's cool. But there's not too many of them like there was, I think, earlier. Yeah, so far so good. Nice little squeaky downer. got like a back and forth kind of thing. Give this man a big D. There you go. That double kick drum is good right there. Mono check. Yeah, so far so good. I like this synth that's been running through the whole time. It's a great pattern. It's like, just keeps going. And the vocal feels like breathing. Got me doing yoga. No. No. I was just doing yoga and the volume fade out was way too fast. Can you just make that last sound have a longer fade out time? Hold on. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. That experiment failed. I wanted to count with the metronome on the ending. Well, this is a case where you did it right and it sounds wrong. The part that's right is that the kick drum drops out and there's 8 bars of stuff before the end of the song. Somehow it just didn't strike me. You saw my reaction at the first ending. I was like, oh, that sound faded out too long. So at the end of that 8 bars, whatever that last note is, just extend it a bit longer. Extend the loop brace on your export a bit longer and let that sound really take a longer time to fade down. Have the reverb slowly wash out and just don't like drop the volume ramp down to an ending at exactly 8 bars. Let it wash out and have an extended ending. It needs a reverb tail. Thank you. You said it in 5 words. I was talking for 5 minutes. The only other thing I want to check is the sound when the kick drum comes in, because I noticed some really cool effects with like little crashes and reverse crash and stuff like here, right? Listen to how the kick comes in. There's some nice high frequency, like whoosh. It's like a reverse, like jangly kind of high frequency thing. What happens the first time the kick comes in? Is that the same? Okay. I got to be curious as I heard the kick drums enter later on the drop sections. I was wondering, how did that happen the first time? So I think we're good. You need a reverb tail, and for everybody out there in replay land, don't cut off the ending of your track. You really need that to be extended for a long time. And here's the reason why. When you're getting it mastered, all these details are going to get louder. So if you do your volume fade at the ending of the track, then the mastering engineer turns it up. All these really cool details and the reverb tails and delays and everything, you'll be able to hear them in the master version that maybe you didn't even notice them in your own version. But if you do a volume fade on your pre-master, there's just silence and there's nothing available to be turned up, and it's going to really sound clipped off. So it's always better when you're exporting, take your loop brace, drag the right side like 2 bars farther, 5 seconds or 10 seconds, to just make sure that anything at the very end, like after the last sound, any kind of little lingering tails are in the recording. So then you can turn them up in mastering, and your mastering engineer is going to do the final fade out after those volumes are adjusted. In other words, the mastering process is going to mess up your volume curve because it's going to get distorted. Sort of like if you stretch the waveform vertically, it gets taller and the ending gets shorter. But that actually happens to people listening to it. And then they don't know what to do and they bite their fingernails. So John, that's done, man. Really nice work. Great sounds, great feel. Everything's smooth. The arrangement is smooth. Sound design is amazing. Song structure is amazing. Mix is solid. Just the reverb tails, and that is going to be done. So you could call it version 4.1. It's not going to be really version 5. All right, Gabrielle, thanks for hanging out and waiting. Got some version 3 on this tech track. EQ is flat, stereo, and here we go. Oh, yeah. Instantly, you know what's coming. I think the volume is too low on my broadcast right now, but we'll see. Okay, let me turn this up. And I'm going to rewind. Here's our intro. Horse is scary, man. What's going on with that claw? Yes. Okay, you turned down the rolling bass. We were talking about that last time. The rumble was kind of like boom, 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 boom. Wow, that sound is really bright. Shwa, wah, wah. The low end feels really good. The kick drum is very clear by itself. Bow, bow, bow. And it still has the rhythm. Boom, dicka doom, dicka doom, dicka doom. This is a great mix. Some of the higher mid-range is a little bit sharp. The open hi-hat in that riser section is a little bit too bright for me. I gotta go back. Okay, right here. Around 1:30, it's a little too much at like 3.5K, so the whole mix could come just down a little bit right there. That sound. And that sound. The sounds are great. Yes. Shepherds, how do you feel in that low end? How do you feel the kick drum and the rumble? Sounds good to me. Ian, what are you thinking? Yeah. I like those hi-hats. They're kind of distorted, like kind of crunchy. Yes. Great drum programming. Now that hi-hat, yes. The Terminator, right? Oh, Shepherds, thank you. Much better than the last version. Yeah. I'm going to just stop and say that all of the ear candy travelers in the high mid-range are excellent. They're so bright, they're so wide, they're loud, and they don't interfere with anything else. So I'm going to rewind a little bit, check in mono, and just enjoy these sounds again right around here. That one, wow. All that. That one. And now again in stereo. Right there. Right there. That one. There's so many details of these little extra sounds. It sounds so good. Oh, Ben is here. Good. We saved your track. We didn't play your track yet. Oh, Gabriel, I remember some of your other tracks had like two whole sections, right? Okay, so let's see what happens in the second half. Nice heavy bottom. Cool harmonic kind of world. That kick is fierce, man. Bonk. Yes, man. Okay. Wait, before we go there, Martin, that's a great comment. Reverb on the kick and the break. Right here. I just did that on the board with the reverb. That would help a lot. Have a long tail reverb, like a whole separate reverb, just with a super like big hall, long tail. So that kick is like, and there too. Nice build. Industrial with the Terminator feel. That little distortion is like great. Oh. So we kind of like changed to a different harmonic world. This feels like a different song. Everything about the transition was so good, and it did not lead me to that new alarm sound. So like harmonically, and the melody and the harmony that came after the break are so different from the breakdown that I feel like somebody mixed a record and just like it was a new record. It's working by itself though. As a separate track, it's working. Now I'm wondering, do we return to the beginning part? Ooh. Check this out right here. That is good sound right there. Okay. So what I'm feeling here is that we're just gonna get the kick drum and the growl, and all these sounds are gonna stay there. And this new sound thing. And the new bass line. It's that new bass line that's a higher bass note. Like here in the beginning, it's nice and deep. I get centered in on that, like It's not really harmonic, but just like a pitch. Do-do-dum, bo-do-dum, bo-do-dum. And that stuff, yeah. Okay, Gabriel, I want to be fair to your vision here. So you're saying you need to hear the whole idea of the second half to understand it? Maybe, but for me, the transition from the first half to the second half just was such a big change. In a live set, I could totally get with it and be like, yeah, that's cool. But as a single track that I would pick to DJ with, I might not want to make that change. You know, this feels like taking like a total like 90-degree turn after the breakdown. Yeah. So, could you get to this second part and have it feel like this? It's deep, it's heavy, it's got a growl, and it flows in a similar way to the first half. So this one siren sound, I think, is the problem. Wow. And then come in here. Like this part around 550. If the drop comes back like this, and then that other sound comes in, I think that would work a lot better. But it's hard for me to get here coming across this sound. Boom, 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 boom. That new bass note, which is up higher, and the emptiness of only that bass note and that new sound, totally like just deflate all that. There's like this great vibe that's been built up the whole 4 minutes. And then we get to this new thing, and I'm like, where'd all the water go? Like the swimming pool is empty. And I'm not trying to be critical. Seriously, this track is amazing. And the middle here, I'm glad you made that comment about understanding how it flows, because in this part, I get everything I like about the track. It's deep, grinding, a little distorted, energetic. All this shit happening in the second half is good. But just the way that you got there, it was introduced a little bit too suddenly. I like it around 5.5 minutes. This is where it kind of gets back to where we were vibe-wise. Yes, that right there is awesome. Pow, 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 pow. And yeah, all those little gaps, transition things, rhythmic breaks, the sound design, the stereo field, the mix, everything about this is awesome. The bridge between the first half and the second half is what I would work on a bit. And possibly you could just cut out like 30 seconds or 45 seconds and maybe just get to the second part sooner. So the conversation between the two synths. Yeah. It's cool. I see what you're doing with that. That's well developed, and definitely your live sets are going to be crushing it when you have tracks like this. The really big advantage here is, you know, sometimes a track is so simple that you get to like 3 minutes and you're like, all right, I'm bored. I heard everything. I heard all the ideas. Nothing's changing. It's all the same. And that's a bad problem to have, because then you have to construct something new to keep it interesting. You don't have that problem at all. You have so much going on that we're getting across like kind of like a gap. Should I do 2 tracks? You have enough material here to do 2 tracks, yeah. Like the one that you have now, you could kind of extend it like another minute and have a totally solid 5.5 minute techno banger, and then take all the ideas from the second one, do the same kind of treatment. So you have 2 tracks, and then play them in a set where you make the transition across. So that might be the right way to do it, rather than trying to torture this into one continuous track. So try it. And for everybody out there in producer land, this is a really valuable tip. When you're in this situation, here's what I would do. Completely stop and do save as. And I would say like save as A, save as B. So I actually make 2 copies. So whatever this one is, version 3, leave it alone. Version 4, I'd cut off the whole ending and build a new track with only the first part, right? And then version 4B. So you have like 4A and 4B. Version 4B, take this whole second section and just play with it and make it like it's a track by itself. The point of what I'm trying to say is when you create two new versions, you don't have to be afraid of deleting anything. You don't have to be afraid of losing anything. You get total creative space to just keep the parts that work, cut off everything else, and see what happens with two tracks. And that could be the key to identifying the core of what's important about those two and making it very clear, like, yes, we have enough for two tracks. Or if the B section, if this ending thing just never really stands on its own as a track, then take the part that works, put it on the end of the first part, go back to version 3, and you'll know what you need to cut out so you can let go of the garbage, keep the good part, and have one track. It's kind of a production technique to save copies, give yourself space to play around, don't be afraid of losing anything, and your creativity will move a lot faster through the worlds of imagination. Matt Schultz, a genre which lives from well-dosed simplicity and distortion. That's funny, well-dosed simplicity, because dose is a special verb. Like, if you said it's a genre which lives on good simplicity, that's one thing, but getting to simplicity from dosing. What am I talking about? All right, all I get is static. Version 3, Ben Hunt, EQ flat, stereo wide. Here we go. There's that snap we were talking about. Yeah, Gabriel, great track, man. Your sound design is insane on that. I want to hear what you do with the next one. There's our bass line. Let me check the change log from Ben. So raised up the hi-hats a little bit, little automation, and some mix. Without looking, I knew instantly this was Ben. Ian, I gotcha. And I think, yeah, I still got Discord open. Yay! Yeah, Ben, no comments so far. This is great. Yes, that comes in proper. I like the swing on this hi-hat too. Let's do a little mono check. Dreamy, warm, open, big reverbs. I think that's like the Ben Hunt sound. It's like a little bit like AFL, but different. This is great right here. In, I'm still totally with it, like feels fresh kinda. Got those kick drums in there. Oh, that's the best compliment, signature sound. Yeah, when people hear your music and they know it's you. Okay, the synth before could be a bit louder. I need a timestamp on that because I'm on like a minute lag time here. Loading, yeah. The flow is perfect then. Oh, that's awesome. That was like a mini break to introduce the melody. Why did that work so well? That's a compositional moment. It wasn't a breakdown. I want to play that again. I heard like a melody come in and a kick drum drop out. Is that all that happened? What happens to make that interesting right there? That was just a 1-bar break of no kick drum. Sneaky way to bring in a melody. I like how the melody is in this inner voice. It's not super high frequency. It's kind of like buried in the mids, but it's really there. Right there at 590. Ian. What are you guys talking about? Icing on the cake? It's not a cooking show. Making food, single malts. Guys, it's not a cooking show, so don't make it into one. And bringing it down perfectly. It's the perfect blend of predictable and good. Like you get what you're expecting, and it's really good, you know? Okay, Pip, thank you. This synth could be louder. Bow, 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 bow. Where does that enter? Okay, so here we have that mid-range melody right there. So the last melody we heard around 590 hertz was kind of loud. Now right here, the second inner one. And I would do something specific to get this one louder. I would only do an EQ boost in the upper part of its voicing. So don't turn up the volume on this one because I hear some lower frequencies. It's like a bassy pluck sound. Try like this. See if I boost up here like around 1000 or 2000, it brings out the brightness. And if I boost down there at 500 or below, it's way too mucky. So Ben, what I would do is go take that one, yeah, right here, yeah. Wait. I swear you just did in the track the thing I was imagining before I heard it, which is take that bass pluck sound, EQ up the upper mid-range of it so that the pluck tone, the brightness comes out and it feels louder, but the bass end isn't actually louder. Because if you turn up the volume of the low frequencies, it's gonna kind of mess up your low mid zone. So this is a good example of a place where a little EQ boost can achieve the feeling of volume without actually changing fader volume in the mix. Pretty sure I can amend that probably faster than I can finish talking about it. Let's just hear the ending without Steve talking. Effects are great. Yeah, right here, it's great. Oh my God, another dead tail. Reverb tails are so important. It's like, you don't get the big D. If you cut off your reverb tails, no big D for you. So Ben, the synth builds up towards the end. Make it louder, brighter when it first comes in. You know what you could do is do that build up more often. So when it first comes in, have it get up to that bright place faster and then come down and then build up to brightness and then come down. So it's more like a wave of the, like the low pass filter, or the bright EQ boost is kind of like coming up and down to flow with the track. And Ben, I'm not sure if you heard before, earlier in the feedback today, we were talking about the tail, reverb tails, how they feel, what they need to do. So three, two, three, four, four, two, three, four, boom. That's the soonest the reverb tails should stop. Like, you should be able to listen to the tails, still be kind of feeling the beat in your mind, and slowly release out of it all the way down to silence. Super important. So version 4 or version 3.1 is going to be done. Minor mixes, and that's beautiful. You had us totally all floating in the track, and this is like going from 99% to like 100% to get it done. So good job with that. Now we got down to Donats and DJ Waters. I think we can get from Donats to DJ Waters today. And can I get, what was the Hecate track? Matt Schultz, just because you weren't here, we're going to review that track again because I want to hear your input on it at the end. So don't go anywhere. All right, Donats. Oh, Shepherds. I make 7-minute techno tracks with 1 minute of reverb ending. Wait, 1 minute reverb ending tails in the future? How do you have reverb in the future? Donats. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, EQs are flat, stereo wide. Yeah, Ben, great track, man. Little bit of minor updates and you're good. Here we go, 1 minute coming up, or 30 seconds. Perfect. Right on the minute mark. Okay, we had great groove is getting overused at this point. Yeah, that vocal sample, we started hearing it back here, right? Okay, so when it comes in at 33 seconds, play that vocal sample only once, maybe hit the delay, and don't let it repeat again and again and again and again. Because I see what's happening with it, and it becomes hypnotic when you hear it over and over again. But on the way to get here at 2 minutes, we already heard it too much. So really cut that out, like cut out 3 of the 4 repetitions before 2 minutes. Max is here. Yeah, DJ Waters is taking attendance. So far, the mix is cool, the bass line's cool, beats are cool, everything is flowing. We're kind of in a song structure question here. Beats are awesome right here. like how it's kind of spacey right here. And again, what you could do is at 3 minutes, there's a moment, a build up with a vocal right here. 303, cut all the vocals and let us have just the bass line and beats. So then at 305, we have a nice chunk with like no vocals, just the emptiness of beats and bass. And that little like, that kind of melodic sample. Yes, the hi-hats. I like the message. It's kind of inspirational. Like, yeah, we weren't musicians. We just had great groove. The vocals are basically getting it's too sampley. It's like we hear that sample like so much that it's getting overdone. So now it seems like we are in towards the ending of the track. I'm getting that feeling like the open hi-hat's been going for a really long time. We've been in the same groove. We had great groove, but we've been in the same groove for a while. So could you change some of the layering, take out some layers, don't overuse the great groove sample, and don't leave the open hi-hat going for quite so long, because it feels like the song sections are quite long and they're not really changing so much in this last minute or two. I think the track could probably be shorter. Shepard is cut the track in half and start rearranging. You talking about remixing? These guys want to remix their Adam. They want to get their hands on your track. So okay, this is cool. It's got the totally classic Donats bounce, and basically there's kind of too much of everything, and the skeleton is a little bit too long. So I would aim to cut this down a whole minute shorter, use the great groove sample less often, and in the second half of the track, like after this 4-minute mark, really work on changing the percussion so that it doesn't come in with the exact same sound of the beats as before. Like all these different parts. When I skip through all these different sections, all those sections have an open hi-hat going doops, 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 doops. And it just it makes it sound like it's just one drum loop going all the whole time. I know it's not, but it sounds like it. So change it up with closed hi-hats, other little wood blocks, maybe even some hand percussion. Some kind of like ticky-ticky thing that's not just a disco hi-hat. I know your style works. And it's weird to describe it. Like when I flip through the track, any one spot where I stop and take a sample, take a listen, it sounds good. It sounds like a great house track. But overall, it feels like the track comes up to full level and then just goes, and it's like the same kind of level all the way through. doesn't have a big climax, doesn't have a deep breakdown or anything to like make you wait and then wait for the beat so you want it so bad and then it comes back in. It's sort of like the beat comes in and slams and then we're just going like all the way through 6 minutes. So again, this is kind of a good problem to have because it sounds great, the mix is cool, the idea is good, the bass line's grooving, the sounds are cool, and all the sounds hang together in a world of the Donats style, which is cool. So if we can get you in this track to having bigger buildups that are more dramatic and then deeper drops where you cut stuff out and it's only the slamming beats and bass, that would be helpful. And then after that gets a little stale, you start bringing in the little vocal samples again, and get some more like dynamic tension and release is what we need. What are you guys talking about? Adam, give us the stems. Giving the stems. Max, thank you. I just saw your comment. Good luck for moving to Hawaii. Thank you. Just positive vibes from Prince. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm packing up all my stuff and I got to put it in the shipping container and take it over there. And then we have some cool construction projects. The point of that is there's going to be a guest house for all y'all to come and visit. Maybe not all at the same time, unless you want to curl up in a big cuddle puddle with DJ Waters. Yes, I said cuddle puddle. I really said that. Seriously, I would love to have you guys come and visit me out there, as many people as can make it. And that's going to be happening like a week and a half. I'm out. It's crazy. Speaking of the Cuddle Meister. Oh, did you give somebody CPR this week? Somebody passed out in a store and you saved their life? Did that happen? Was it your music that made them pass out in the first place? Shepherds, no, it's probably going to be about 3 weeks.
The life you know.
Yeah, during September, I'm going to be moving, so I'll be doing track feedback and comments and writing.
It's not going to last. Imagine a world of permanent darkness, where machines control man's destiny. Imagine you were the only one who could stop it.
Rise to the machine.
All right, let me put this up to the level I want it. Okay, that's the level I would listen to this music. So let me just go back a little bit. We want to listen to the intro and hear it kick in. So Ian, correct screechers in place. Final layer of bass distortion, final tidy up before it goes out to Den Mastering, DEHN. That's our friend Pivclit, who's doing amazing work on a whole bunch of tracks and releases coming up. So a little bit of rewind. Here we go.
Rise to the machine.
Yeah, right there. That's amazing. Mono. Nasty. You can like touch it.
Residents of hell.
Yeah, Gabriel, I'm not surprised you like this. Oh, I like that. Freaking driller, man. Turn my headphones up.
Residents of hell.
Ugh. That vocal is so good. It's so like it like rips through the mid-range.
The machines, they're starting to take over.
Some people have a build down at the end of the tracks. DJ Waters has more like a sprint to the finish where you're like, it's like you floor it and see how far the car can go before it something explodes. Proper industrial old school. I want to just listen to this last chunk again. It goes down deeper. Right there. Right there. So good. Wow.
The machines, they're starting to take over.
Third person of the day who cut off the reverb tails. Listen to this heinous crime of abbreviation. Oh, fell off a cliff. All right, I'm not going to talk about it again because you've heard me say it, but for anybody in replay land, take your loop brace, drag it past the end of the sound, and then go like 4 chunks later, whatever grid size you're looking at. Just don't cut off your reverb tails. It does make a difference. Ian, what am I hearing? I want to hear this vocal in the middle. Not that. That one's good. This one. Something really interesting happens right here. After this. Right there. Turns into a riser. It's like there's a voice. Somehow the voice just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The bass stays there, and it's like only the voice and the drums are happening or something. Riser that comes up. Man, that shit is crazy. I'm giving some claps. I'd sooner add 5 kicks than a reverb. Yeah. Piv's cooking dinner. Ian's cutting off reverbs. Thunderdome CDs. So Ian, that's great. That's ready for mastering for sure. And I really like that the high screechy parts that we heard before, they're still there, but they're not as grating. So we can just appreciate that like super high screechy shit. And this sounds like a movie soundtrack. This sounds like a trailer for a scene.
The life you know, all the stuff you take for granted, it's not gonna last. Imagine a world of permanent darkness.
Wow.
Where machines control man's destiny.
There's like this stereo pulse.
Imagine you were the only one who could stop it.
the machine.
All right. I can't go through the whole thing again. The intro is great. The sound design is amazing. There's a lot of moments where one sound morphs out of another. Like there's this riser going, and then it goes rise. And it's like the riser is a voice or something. It's like very well done. Pivclit, how depressing. I know it is a little bit of a Terminator. It's a Terminator with glitter. Imagine you're the only one who could change it. That's cool. That's great. So I think that one's done. If anybody has any comments, let me know. And my favorite part personally is how the female voice in the middle seems to like make all the distortion go away, and we still have a really lot of low end. Just really good layering. A lot of work on that one. So let's wrap it up with, oh, is that everything? Dinats? So is Matt Schultz still here? Matt, we're going to review the dub techno piece from Stuart Robinson. And while that's going on, let me do a little bit more promo. So my new course called How to EQ Your Tracks is available for early access, which means I need people who are going to sign up, download the lessons, do them, and give me some comments on how they feel, okay? So let's see if I'm able to. Let me just log in as a user. I want to show you what you're going to see inside. Don't look at all these. Those are all my user courses. Here's what you're going to get when you come into How to EQ Your Tracks Early Access. Little welcome video, and you're going to go into the teaser module, Help with Testing. And this is totally free. You just got to sign up and get it. Matt, okay. So welcome to the teaser module. If you click into the lessons like EQ and filter types, instructions up top, what you're going to do is download this live pack, ALP file, double click on it, open it up, and it'll take you inside Ableton to do the rest of the tutorial inside live with instructions and activities like I showed you at the beginning. There's the instructions on how to do it. Please drop a comment underneath there so I can understand if you have any questions. Got lesson 2, frequency sweep technique. Lesson 3, basic EQ cuts. So what's happening here is lesson 1, you learn the EQ and filter types, which are like the tools. Lesson 2, you learn the frequency sweep technique, which tells you how to use the tools in theory. Lesson 3, basic EQ cuts. We actually make a mix using those techniques with those tools that you just learned. So it's a very simple series of lessons. The playground, the toys, now go have fun. That's what you're doing, and then give me some feedback. So please sign up, help me test that out, because I want to make sure I can fix all the little glitches before we go fully live into promo in end of September, early October. I want to allow a month for moving and then fixing any mistakes, collecting feedback, all that kind of stuff. I will be doing track feedback in Discord with headphones, timestamps, and comments. So please keep updating your tracks, posting the links. I'll be putting in some tracks, and we can have our chat comments going on while my live stream gear is on the boat to get to Hawaii, because I got to ship it. So Matt, what you can hear, it's great. You want to hear more, maybe if I stop talking. And Stuart, the shuffle here, right? It's a great rhythm, great timing, feel. We talked about this already. I just wanted to play it so Matt could hear it, and so I can do a little promo. And let me fade that down. I do want to hear another mix on that. Before we end up, we are really proud of House Volume 1 that just came out on Bandcamp on Mixotexture Records. Shepherds, check the internet connection for Hawaii. They do have internet in Hawaii. It's pretty cool. So House Volume 1 is a collection of tracks that came out of track feedback, meaning every track on this record, somebody we know produced it, brought it to track feedback, played it for us, opened their little fuzzy bunny vulnerable self and said, what's wrong with my music? Criticize it and cut my guts out so I can fix it. It's not that hard, but it is terrifying to put your music out in public, let other people hear it. And you know what? The reason most people are afraid of that is because they didn't get enough feedback. So when you have a community of people where you can privately share your music, get some other ears on it, and find out the dumb stuff like, is my track fucked up or is my studio fucked up? Are my acoustics broken? Are my speakers not hearing what I think I'm hearing? There's a lot of things that other people can fix that you can't fix by yourself because you just might literally not hear it. And we can. So we give you feedback on the sound design, the song structure, and the mix. so that when you put your track out into public for real, you know it's going to sound good. And I'm talking to everybody in replay land because the people in this group right now basically know what it's all about. I'm going to do a hula with a grass skirt if you get lucky. So House Volume 1 is out right now on Bandcamp. Oh, check it out. Amazing release. Got some comments. Very happy to be included on this fantastic compilation. And it's true. Amazing, amazing music. Plus some heavy hitters in there. Oh, favorite track, Canada, Your Love. Cool. Thank you so much for that. And a little promo. Shepherd is coming out on Thorium Records in, I'm not sure when, but here's just a little taste. Kind of goes with DJ Waters and Gabriel. So this is going to be a fun one, and I love what Shepherds is doing at 140 BPM. Shepherds, how are future streams going to be scheduled if we're 10 hours apart? That is the question. I am probably going to stay on East Coast time and adjust my sleep cycle so that my studio time matches where the audience is, because we built up a lot of good vibe over the years doing streams and everything, and I want to keep it so that everybody who's watching now can stay in the stream, and I'm not too worried about that. It'll be possible. Check that out. There we go. So that's it for track feedback for today. And this is the last live stream for like 3 weeks. I've been looking, I want you guys to know, I look forward to track feedback every time. Like every time when it's 11 a.m., I'm like, thank God I can make some coffee, listen to some music, talk to my friends, hang out. I don't have to think about anything else. I don't have to do anything else. I can just listen to music, EQ a little bit, talk a little bit, get some comments and hang out. And it's super fun. Oh, Ian, maybe do 2 sessions with the same tracks for people in different time zones. I mean, maybe, or, you know, the group is growing constantly, and I've been toying with the idea of doing 3 feedback sessions. So maybe I could actually do 3 different times and have like, kind of like Western Hemisphere and Eastern Hemisphere feedbacks or something like that. I don't know. Those things can all be worked out. So thank you everybody for all your support. And why 3 weeks? Gabriel, because I'm putting my studio in a shipping container that's going across the US and then on a boat and then to Hawaii. So I literally cannot get it any faster. I looked at possibly putting everything in boxes and shipping it, but that's actually more expensive. Plus everything's in a separate box. More things can get lost and damaged. So I'm bringing a laptop and headphones. I'll have internet as soon as I get there. So I'm gonna be connected. I'm just not gonna have the mic and the backdrop and the mixer, and my monitors, and my USB interface, and my cables. And there's 4 hours to LA, yeah, right? Yeah. All right, thanks everybody. So I'm gonna dip out. Literally the next thing I'm doing right now is taking this mic off the stand, putting it in a box, making some more coffee and all that. So I'll see y'all on Discord. Ian Waters, keep your hands to yourself. I love hearing your stories. It's hilarious. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ben. I do have a hard time stopping music, so I might just let this Shepherds play out. See, Shepherds doesn't cut off his reverb tails. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. See you later.